extension 226.
All right, we're good. All right, good evening, everybody. Tonight is a meeting of the planning board. It's September 24th. If we could all stand, and we actually have the flag here, we'll do the pledge of the flag tonight. Yep. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the only item on our agenda is proposed zoning amendments, informal discussion, Hope Complex, use regulations. And there are some changes that the owner wants to make to the zoning to encourage more businesses or businesses to be able to use the property, which has gone underutilized for many years. And they brought forward a bunch of changes, which we can go through quickly. We don't actually have to read anything because it's not a public hearing. Ted, do you want to just jump up and
Sure,
just
yeah,
summarize?
thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Ted Cannon on behalf
Microphone.
of CNA Partners, owner of the Hope Complex is what I call it, I think, with most people. With tonight, Sam Chase from CNA Partners, Jim Stubblebine, his real estate agent, and Jim Mills, the property manager. Just in case you had questions about some of the opportunities that they've had that they've missed out on because of some of the current zoning. So the driving force for this was the overlay district and some inquiry about, geez, could we, we have some property, could we be involved in the housing overlay? And that sort of spun off into, geez, we really could use some zoning changes. And I said, we better hurry. And so here we are. We enormously appreciate the effort the board has gone to, make this possible for consideration. So thank you for that. So in working with Mike and Sam Chase from CNA Partners, we did go through the table of uses and identified just sort of the most important uses that have come up that have, with the no on there, it's just, you're dead in the water. So what we've asked to do on the table of uses is identify some of those and just asking to switch the no to a special permit SPB to come before this board. So this board has some oversight, can impose conditions, as you know, with special permits, you have broad latitude in your discretion. And so we just, it provides oversight, but it also provides an opportunity rather than a just flat no. So that's kind of the overview on the table. And then we did have a unique opportunity when it just recently surfaced about sort of an artisan incubator space, someone who's interested in creating a number of offices for artisans to practice their craft. And so that led to, there is currently a use called artisan manufacturing, but we wanted to sort of broaden that a little bit, and then also with that, create an opportunity for our artisans to periodically demonstrate, show their wares, and potentially sell some of those. So we sort of looked at some other towns with similar types of situations, Needham, Weston, Lincoln. I think the paragraph proposed to Section 5 use regulations, a proposed new Section H, is just, I think that comes from Lincoln, to allow the owner periodically to come before the board to get a limited permit to conduct sort of, like if it was an outdoor showing, maybe with some wine and cheese, to buy some artwork. How many people, what are the hours, what's the parking gonna be like? So this board has some oversight, but it's not a site plan, it's not overly burdensome. So, it's hard to just sort of write that into the use and say, sure, go ahead. But we thought this was a nice compromise to be able, it's probably not something that's gonna come up every month, but periodically, and again, just through a simple permit process, come before this board for approval.
Could I just ask a question on that, Ted?
Sure.
I mean, so that sounds good, but typically the planning board, we wouldn't get into permitting or having sales. I mean, generally, we just set the thing up. I'm just saying is, I don't know if we would be the best avenue to go to.
Okay?
I mean, what would you think, Jim?
Select board or the.
Yeah, like I said, it's not that we wouldn't want, it's just we're kind of cumbersome.
Sure.
So if you wanted to do it, it would take, more time to get that done. I don't think, I wouldn't be opposed to saying that you guys could do it, but I would say maybe the select board might be a better,
So in that draft we have, if we wanted to change planning board to select board, that's fine, as long as there's an avenue to do it.
fine.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I think that's a better, plus if you guys decided if you had to do a one-day liquor license, or I don't know if they do those, that
Sure.
would be the select board, it wouldn't be us.
That makes sense.
Just, it took us, a couple of years to do a chicken bylaw, so.
So that's it.
Good.
Those are.
Do you mind just running quick through just the ones that we wanted to make the
Sure.
special permit
Yeah.
only just for?
So while I was on that, actually, item 38 in the use table is presently, just states artisan manufacturing. And in the CV2, which is that is actually an SPB, which is fine. But we wanted to change that heading, if you will, and remove artisan manufacturing and have that state artisanal and craft maker space or gallery, including the display and retail sales of the arts and crafts created, produced, or manufactured. We just thought that was a little more descriptive of what could take place there. We already talked about H, so that's fine. And then in the table itself, the first was number 6 on page 29 of the bylaw. Drive-up windows, including but not limited to drive-in eating establishments, a premise wherein food is served or to be consumed by patrons while they are seated in parked cars. That's presently not allowed, which is acting that be by special permit. There's a couple of drive-ups right across the street. So we just wanted to have that opportunity. On page 30, number 35, light manufacturing is presently a no. This is a perfect place for some light manufacturing, and again, to have it by special permit. On page 31, construction industry, including wholesale suppliers, again, by special permit to oversee what are you gonna sell, who's coming, when are they coming, what kind of trucks they're gonna be bringing. Retail suppliers of construction, so wholesale or retail construction supply. Manufacturing, again, by special permit. Wholesale trade and distribution, again, by special permit. That is essentially what's been going on there for a long time. And I know the fear is, hey, we don't want a fulfillment center, we don't want Amazon trucks running in and out of there. So that's not the intent. And then lastly, on page 33, number 8, accessory outside storage clearly necessary to the operation and conduct of a permitted principal wholesale transportation, industrial, or commercial use, which is currently no. But if there was some light manufacturing or a construction supply, and they wanted to keep some materials by special permit, okay, you can keep it outside, it's got to be enclosed, that enclosure has to be screened off. Just right now, we don't have the opportunity to even engage in that kind of conversation. So that's it, Mr. Chairman, just those items.
All right, I mean, that all sounds, I read it, and everything sounds reasonable. I mean, we want to, like I said, it would be good for the town if that building was used more effectively, so. Is there any discussion from the board?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just for the benefit of, if anyone is watching, these are not proposed changes for the Ann and Hope property, it's for the CV2 district, which 90% of the district is the Ann and Hope property, but it's for the district as a whole. And the majority of the changes that the applicant has put forth are to change them from no to special permit, are allowed by special permit in the CV district, which is the commercial district immediately across the street. The only two that are not allowed on this side of the street would be the light manufacturing and the manufacturing. And those are both uses that are only allowed in the industrial zone. So while I understand that the applicant, what their intention may be right now to start bringing in industrial uses, allowing it more in the center of town is my only, so it's at number 35, and then on page 30 and number 5 on page 31.
Well, I mean, I would say the
Those are
the only thing is, American Ken was there and Soda was there. And so, I mean, it's a historical, and then GAF was right around the corner. So, I mean, we have had a history of, having, things downtown that people made stuff, and obviously, we'd have to check on, supply, what they're planning on putting in and out. But, I don't think it would be a bad thing to have, having buildings empty, it really doesn't do
Oh, no,
anyone in the town
I
any good.
absolutely agree.
So
I
I'd say,
just wanted to,
No, bring
I
it
was
up
just
as a
bringing
point.
that up, is that
Yep.
all of the, which, I mean, personally, I don't understand why the north side of 109, that section of 109 is one commercial district, and the south side of the street is a different district. So the fact that the majority of these changes are just gonna make both sides of the street level playing field, I think makes sense.
all right, great.
That was it.
Go ahead.
I was going to touch on the same thing. One of my concerns is we don't have a definition for manufacturing. We have definition for light manufacturing. And I'm more inclined to allow light manufacturing, it's less hazard, less noise. This does border a residential neighborhood. My concern is if we open it to manufacturing, it seems to me that's a different scale. Again, I want to see you rent your building out. That's great for the town, great for you, help do some jobs, but I would like to keep some of the brakes on. It's not allowed in CV. I don't see reason to allow it in CV2.
So that would be, but I think they only asked for, they did ask for manufacturing. So your concern is,
My
see, that's
concern
kind of
is
a
manufacturing.
manufacturer. I mean, so here's a question to the, let's say applicant. So what's the difference between light manufacturing and manufacturing? So they brings up a valid point. Manufacturing could be, they make, say, chipboards or whatever they do, would that be light manufacturing or heavy manufacturing?
That wouldn't be allowed under light manufacturing because of the hazardous materials involved.
Yeah, you've got in the definition, development and production of limited quantities of specialized products with a negligible impact on the surrounding environment in terms of noise, smell, dust, glare, use of hazardous material, traffic, water consumptions. Light manufacturing shall not include the development and manufacture of biological or genetic materials, substances, or the processing of any animal product, the use of any tanning. So there's these things that specifically do not fall under light manufacturing would fall under manufacturing. And although we may have a history of having manufacturing there, we also have a history of not the applicant, prior companies that were burying shingles in the ground, and we don't.
Well, I think it's a different
I-
time.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying that,
No,
I-
no,
well,
I got
that's,
it.
but it's also, this isn't a manufacturing town anymore, so, it's, yeah, my concern is just the
All right, so if we
manufacturing.
decide, if we took manufacturing off the table and left it as light manufacturing?
Yes.
Good point, and what Michael and the ownership, it's fine to remove that now. Probably would like to revisit, would have to start with a definition. To ask for it without a definition is hard, particularly on short notice. You did mention one thing that, we'll certainly talk about, but there is a demand for research laboratory space. I know biological is not allowed, but, that might be something that the town might want to reconsider, under the circumstances, as long as it's not hazardous, but it's, sort of research, R&D type space has become important, and that might be a good opportunity there as well. So, we've asked for a fair amount in a short time. So, yeah, if we can move forward on the others and we leave manufacturing to another day, that's fine.
All right.
And it could be, given a little extra time, we could come up with a definition that falls, a use that falls between this light manufacturing and full manufacturing that would, or whether, however it's done to incorporate
Or maybe
R&D
whoever's coming to apply for that could provide us with some
Yeah.
options that we
That's
can go
right,
through,
yeah.
Sure.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
for
All
the
right,
time
I
being, it
mean,
would be
that's
light.
fine. That sounds like a good compromise, I guess, if we wanted to, we'll pull that out,
Sure.
so. Okay. All right, was there any other discussion? All right,
Mr. Chair? Sorry, just again, for the people at home, in changing the term of artisan manufacturing, which has no definition in our bylaws currently, to this artisanal and craft maker space and gallery, when that CV2 district was originally discussed and put into place 15 years ago, oh, okay, never mind, I take that back. There is I was looking at artisanal manufacturing, but it's manufacturing artisan. Okay, never mind, I missed that.
yeah, there was one there.
So is that definition staying?
So,
No,
well,
they just added to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just embellished on it.
no,
No, this is
they're
going
striking out artisan manufacturing
in the table,
in
correct?
the
Oh, okay.
table.
Yes.
So that would be, I think maybe instead of striking it out, maybe we add a,
Change the definition.
well, I don't know that we change the definition, because the definition is, this is more for, because artisan manufacturing does not include the, having the gallery space for retail sales. So I would propose, instead of striking out artisan manufacturing at number 38, I would propose changing that to adding a number 43 with this artisanal and craft maker space.
That makes sense.
That's fine.
So we wouldn't strike it, we're just adding.
Right, would leave number 38 as is. We would add a definition of
Yeah, it's probably-
artisanal and craft, add this definition to section 2, and then on table 5, add a number 43. Yeah, so add that as a definition. And then, on page 31, under retail and services, add a number 43 that allows artisanal and craft maker space
Okay.
that would be allowed by special permit in the CV2.
No, and that one, didn't we talk about that one, oh, no, sorry,
No, it
that's the H, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
this
No, that's
is, it's currently as a special permit. So you still have both the creation of art and then the sale or distributing of art.
Well, and also the space, because I think
Right.
part of that is that I think
Yeah,
what they're,
that you
like
have
said, they-
you have the gallery space.
yeah, but, and they also talked about like an incubator, so basically artisans could come in and they could rent a
Right.
space to make the art, and then they would also have, display, because they have something like that over in Norwood, they have the Winsmith Mills where they-
Yeah,
they actually have spaces where they show things and,
Just so I'm clear, because
Yep.
we're gonna have to make these changes, you have to spell out, so you're looking to add another definition.
right.
And the definition name will be,
Artisanal and craft I guess artisanal space?
artisanal space will be the definition.
That's the name of the definition. That's the name of the phrase. And then the definition would be, as listed here, artisanal and craft maker space or gallery,
All right,
including the display and retail sales of the arts and crafts created, produced, or manufactured.
so that goes in the definition
Mhm.
section, okay, and then we're amending.
And then under
adding-
we're adding, under
Number 43.
retail and service, we would add a number 43 for artisanal and craft maker space.
And we're doing this whole phrase in the table, this whole phrase right
Yes.
here, in the table, and then it's
Or-
SPB under
It would, yes, it would be SPB under CV2.
CV2.
And probably, I think you'd probably want to mirror the artisan manufacturing, so it'd be permitted in industrial. So you probably just want to reprint.
Oh,
it.
yes, yes, you're right,
No in all the other districts,
right.
yeah.
So,
So no in all the other districts.
yeah, so it's allowed in IP and IP2, it's a permitted in IP and IP2, and it's a special permit in CV2.
Ted, would you be able to make these amendments and
Sure.
give them to me?
Yes, I can.
tomorrow?
Yep, no problem.
Just so I have the new, because I have to get it, send it to the select board, so.
I'll do that in the morning.
Make sure we get it all.
Yep, no problem. I can do that.
Does that make sense?
Yep, yep. So you're going to take that, create a definition, and plug it in.
Yep.
Yep, gotcha.
For this.
And you're also gonna make the change in to the select board on,
Select
yeah, just so the permitting, for
And
that.
we'll eliminate manufacturing.
Yep, okay. All right, we good, we think?
I think, yeah.
All right, I make a motion that we send the revisions and
The
the whole thing to the select board for
referral back to us. for
referral back
public
to
hearing.
us.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, great.
Thank you all very much, I really appreciate it, thank you. Good luck with bread, Rick.
Good job, guys.
So Ted, if you can get that to me.
All right, we're all set, thanks, guys.
No, we have to
Good
make a
night.
motion to
Oh, I make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn, sorry.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.